Hello friends! Today's video I'm going to show you a very simple treasure journal to make using the Printables part of the kit that comes from Bible Journal Love in the Bible Era's kit, or the Bible Era classes rather. So this is just using, if you watched my tutorial on the different types of kits, there's printables, digitals, and a hybrid. So if you're confused about where to start, check that video. I'll link that below. That will help clear up lots of confusion, I hope. And so this is what I'm going to make using just the printable kit. So this is the Patriarch Era, and I printed out one of the journal pages on a piece of cardstock. I printed borderless. If your printer has that option, it's a great option, then you don't have to trim everything. If your printer doesn't have that option, you will probably have just a little bit of a border there and just trim it off and it's fine. The journal pages are all super beautiful in all of the kits, and they make a wonderful cover for your treasure journal, so just pick the one you like the best and print it out. And then I flipped the paper over and I printed one of the PDF papers from the Patriarch kit on the back. So just select one that you like and print that on the back. So that's our cover. Then I printed, just on regular copy paper, I printed the schedule for the lessons. So I'm going to put that in my book. Then I printed one page from the Bible verses. So this is the first page, verses 1 to 9. And I just printed that straight from my printer. I didn't go into any fancy software or anything. I just printed that on copy paper. And then I did the same thing with the Quick Decks one page. So that's just on a little bit lightweight cardstock that my printer likes. Then I printed out the word art. I'm going to use this for some titles. Again, it's just straight print from the Printables kit on a lightweight cardstock. This one I decided to print on sticker paper. So I had some sticker paper. You don't have to do sticker paper. Clear sticker paper would work probably even better. You don't have to worry so much about your borders. I don't have that option, so I just used some white sticker paper for this one, but you can also just use cardstock or regular copy paper is fine for that as well. And I chose the Bible characters too. You can print out the whole kit. I'm just showing you just the basics so that it's not overwhelming. And then I selected two papers, the background papers from the kit that I liked. And these ones I'm going to use to make a couple of pockets for my journal and maybe some other things as well. And we'll see as we go along. And then I just wanted to show you that you can also print 2 per page. Most printers, when you go to print, you can do 2 per page. There's different ways to do it. I think on the PC you can just highlight the 2 pages that you want, click on this one and click Control and the second one, I believe. And then right click, select print and put 2 per page and you will get this. I did this on my Mac, so I opened this paper in preview, and then I selected the view of thumbnails. I inserted this as a second page, so insert, add file, and then I inserted this one. And then I went to print and I said 2 per page, and they're both in the same file now, and it just printed that for me. So if that sounds complicated and you're not ready for that, just print them like this. That's fine too. You'll always use the paper for something. And then I have just plain, I call it plain copy paper, but I do use 28 to 32 pound copy paper usually for these type of journals. It's a little bit heavier than just the regular 20 pound. You don't have to. I just like the weight of it a little bit better. These pages are going to have different things glued on them and whatnot. So I just thought it's a little bit better support if you have a little bit higher weight. So I believe these ones are 28 pound. You can get 24, 28, 32, different things. So, and then I have, I can actually remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So I'm going to fold them like this into half. So there'll be 4 sides on each page. So there's 1 there, 2, 3, 4. So 6 times 4 is 24 pages. And there's, in this particular Bible era, and most of them are similar, there's 17 lessons. There's often charts and different things that you may want to print out as well. So I put a couple extra pages in here. And we also want to put in our schedule into there. So whatever you want for pages, I chose 6, and that I think is going to suit my purposes well. If you want to add extra pockets and different things, you can definitely add more pages. And I just chose white. Sometimes I'll use coffee dyed paper or different colors or different sizes and make fancy junk journals. Sorry, I'm probably out of frame there. But this time I decided to use white, and the reason is because when I'm cutting out, like in my stickers and things like that, if I don't want to cut out, you know, like inside there, or, you know, just some of the really intricate little piece, that will be easy. But, you know, in the go here, if I don't want to cut out that part, it's going to blend nicely with the white here. It'll look like it has been cut out. Or the grass here, I don't want to cut out each individual grass blade. So if you have the same color paper, so if you want to use pink paper or something, then that probably wouldn't go well with this kit. But if you wanted to use, say, tan colored paper, if you printed this on tan paper and then you had pages that were tan, that would match as well. So I'm just going to get some stuff cut up and ready, and then I'll be right back and show you how to assemble this. Okay, so I just folded my cover in half. So that's ready to go. And I trimmed off a little bit of the border that I had on this schedule, and I folded that in half. So that's ready to go. And I folded all of my pages in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pages, I'm going to insert them into the schedule, which is a little bit smaller, which is fine. You can leave the white border on too, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to insert it into here. And then there's some different ways that you could attach this. I often do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Today I'm just going to staple it. This is just a regular stapler. Or you could, even if you wanted to stitch it with your sewing machine, you could stitch it with your sewing machine. Different ways of doing it, but I'm just going to show you the simplest way with just a basic stapler. So just make sure all your pages are lined up in the center there. Flatten it out on, I'm just using an old phone book. And then most staplers just open like that. And then just line it up on your crease there and give it a staple. So my stapler didn't want to work for me, so I got out my big powerful stapler. Here it is. My little stapler, and it was fine. So if you don't like your big stapler, then get out a little tiny one and maybe it'll do the job for you. So I put 3 staples in the spine there, and then you turn it over. It'll be stuck into your book. You stapled it into your book. You pull it out and then just bend the prongs over. You have to do this part separately because of just the way we use the stapler. So just bend them in, and we have our book. Just like that. So it's got a nice stapled cover there, and we have a pretty cover. So I'm going to make a couple of pockets for the front and the back. So I'm going to take one of my papers that I printed on cardstock, the background papers, and I'm just going to decide what I would like my pocket to be. Maybe think I want a little bit deep pocket, so I'm going to put 3 inches, and I'm going to do 3 inches lengthwise here, and then this I will just cut in half, which will be just shy of 5 inches. If you don't have one of these cutters, then you can easily use just a ruler and a pencil and the scissors. So easy peasy. And so I have 2 pockets. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one at the back. And then this is just for a little extra charts and different things that come up as you do your study. So I'm just going to glue that on 3 sides and then stick it down. There, so our 2 pockets are glued in. Got a pocket there and then a pocket at the very back. And then I'm going to make a little bit of a title on my cover here. So I cut out, this was on the word art page, Patriarch Era. And I think I'm just going to add a little bit of a background so it stands out a bit on here. So I'm just going to glue this on to the yellow background. Leaving a bit of a border. I just eyeball this, you can measure it if you like. And then I'll just trim it. Like that. And then there's my title. Okay, so then I'm just going to glue that on there. So you could also ink around these edges if that's your thing. I do like to ink my edges, but I'm just trying to keep this really simple and basic with basic supplies for those kind of just starting. So it looks pretty good already. We have our book, we have all of our pages in here, we have our schedule, and we have a pocket at the front and a pocket at the back. So I'm just going to leave this page blank here. I'm not sure for what yet, but I will have something there at some point. And then I just cut out a few elements for the first lesson. So I cut out one of the quick Dex cards, and then I cut out Abram from the word art, because that's the first lesson is Abram's calling. And then this is the verse that goes along with that. So I cut out a Dex card that had the same shape. And then I have, because he's being called out of Ur, there's a suitcase with Ur on it, there's a road trip, and there's go. So I'm just going to arrange those in some order. You can cut this off if you want, where you would punch the holes. You can cover it with your title, or you can just leave it like that. Any of those ways will work. I also thought with some of these pages, I'm just going to tear little bits, strips, and I might add a little strips just to kind of decorate the page a little bit more. And then I want some room for writing, so you know, I'll maybe leave this space for writing here. So I'm just gonna kind of lay this out and stick it all down, and then I'll show you what I come up with. Remember, these ones are stickers, so those ones I just stick down. These ones I will glue down, and I'll probably add a little bit of paper underneath, and then I'll show you what I come up with in a second. So there I have all of my elements down, and I'm going to just fill in with a little bit of my notes, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So my page is finished. I've added a few notes here and glued everything down. Simple, super easy to do. There's some notes from the lesson, there's a scripture verse, and yeah, you're good to go. So I think I'll do maybe a couple more lessons on the next couple of pages. I'll just do that off camera and I'll show you what that looks like. One thing I also wanted to mention is I folded the schedule in half, And when I folded it in half, I didn't realize that you guys were probably shouting at me, and I apologize, I didn't hear you. The way when you fold it in half, this was actually week 3 and week 4, and then this was at the back. So what I did is I printed it out again, and I cut it out, and I glued that on top, so I had week 1, 2, 3, 4 that way. Another way you could do it is just fold this up and stick it into your pocket, so that works too. Another thing that I'm probably going to do, I haven't done it yet, but I just see this on my desk. I just got this at Dollar Tree, I think, for $1.50 in Canada, I think it is. And it's just got basically the dates on it, and I like to date my entries here. So I think I'm just going to open this up. It's the Smash brand, but whatever. You can certainly handwrite the date or whatever too, but I think I'm just going to, for a little bit of interest, I'm going to stamp the date right there, and then that one will be done. So I'll show you the next two, maybe just in a photo at the end, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, friends.